What's up, peoples? Welcome back to See These CDs, where in each one of these videos I try and take a closer look at a select CD from my own personal collection and just talk more about its overall cover artwork, graphic design, and packaging for the CD. If you haven't already figured it out, today we're going to be talking about the 2020 Experience, which is by Justin Timberlake. This is disc 2. Which if you're not familiar with this project, around the time that it came out, Justin Timberlake came out with disc 1, which was a full CD, full body of work, and then I want to say like a week or two later, he came out with the 2020 Experience disc 2, which more specifically came out September 27th, 2013 under RCA Records. It's a pretty lengthy project. There's 2 discs to this, or I don't know if they're counting that. I know I already said this is disc 2. All right, so yeah, 2 separate CDs came out, but when you open this up, there's actually 2 CDs in this, CD number 2 packaging. So yeah, it's, from what I was able to find, there's 144 minutes and 36 seconds worth of music. And like I said, I'm not really exactly sure if they're counting that collectively, like with all the music that was released, or if it's just, for, the second CD or the first CD. Regardless, still a great body of work. I enjoy this a lot. I know this one, or disc 2 at least, doesn't get as much credit as disc 1 does. This one was amazing, but disc 2 is, pretty damn, good as well. I wasn't really disappointed with it at all. So yeah, let's get into the artwork. As far as the photography goes, that was accredited to Tom Munro, which he's a pretty prominent artist. I'm probably doing his name a disservice with even saying that, and simplifying what he does, or I guess not what he does, but what he's done thus far. Lengthy resume, like a lot of these artists are when we're talking about the visuals for these CDs. He's worked with Vanity Fair, Vogue, Italian Vogue, I should say, Armani, Dolce & Gabbana, Givenchy, Saint Laurent, Tom Ford. There was another name on there. I just didn't know how to pronounce this, so I was like, I'm not even going to include that. He's worked with so many prominent artists, a few of those being, obviously Justin Timberlake. He's worked with Adele, Beyonce, Johnny Depp, Joaquin Phoenix, Rihanna, Scarlett Johansson, and like I said, the list really goes on, much more. It's just I just didn't include everybody, for the sake of time. As far as creative direction goes, there was a few different names listed. There was about 4, which I was a little bit taken aback by all that. But then when I started looking into each one of the people credited for creative direction, it makes me think that Justin probably went to them for just different things. I don't know if it was always for visuals. It could have also just been for certain sounds and things like that. But I'm not exactly sure. They, like I said, they were just created as creative direction. So I figure I include them as well because their titles are a little bit broad, or at least their accreditation is a little broad. So the first person listed that I was able to see was Doug Lloyd, which he seems to be like a multi-talented artist. All right, so Doug Lloyd did the organ, or he played the organ, I should say, on Fly Me to the Moon, the Great American Songbook Volume 5, which is a CD by Rod Stewart. He also had credits for other of Justin's albums, or more specifically, both of the 2020 Experiences, as well as like I said in the beginning, or I mentioned in the beginning, there's a combination of the 2, which is a complete project. He had credits on that as well, which I'm assuming it's similar artwork or similar credits. Regardless, he also had credits on Future Sex Love Sounds, which I know for this CD or this body of work, Justin said he was just going to the same people he's always gone to, or the same team when he originally made music like Future Love Sex Sounds, just more like I guess that iconic Justin feel, or what you knew Justin to sound like when he first stepped out of the light of him being within a group. So that makes sense that he collaborated with Doug Lloyd when I was looking deeper into this. Doug Lloyd also has worked on the CD Battlefield by Jordan Sparks. That's once again creative direction, and he's also, I think that's about it from what I was able to find. Another creative director for this CD was Rachel Levine, which she's apparently an American YouTuber, known, mostly for her. Well, she's an American YouTuber as well as like she was also included in the title of beauty guru. So I'm assuming like her YouTube is majority about like I don't know, makeup tutorials, maybe like hair, probably like style, clothes, things of that nature. Like one of those like kind of like comprehensive. I don't know what to call them, like like comprehensive, like almost like a look channel. It's not so specific to females. I've seen like dude type channels, for that as well. Whether you talk about makeup, if you're into that, or just, like regular, or I'd say more run-of-the-mill, typical, heteronormative dude fashion or whatever. But I'm not really trying to get all deep into that or anything like that. I was just trying to explain, like what she's known for. Her channel is RCL Beauty 101, and she has over 13 million subscribers. I don't know what exactly Justin went to her as far as like the whole creative direction goes. I thought it was pretty interesting. That's pretty dope. I would say for her resume. Not that she necessarily needed it, but if I was her, I'd be pretty amped to be included for the production credits of such a prominent artist like Justin Timberlake. As far as a musician goes. Another one of the artists that was featured as a creative director or assisted with creative direction was Justin Lynch, which apparently he's a country artist. He's a multi-platinum selling country artist, several platinum plaques. There was some songs on here that did have more of like a country feel. Justin, I know some of his roots. I guess, he is somewhat rooted in country. So, I don't know if, he met this dude, within, the recording industry or, what have you. But when I started thinking about it, I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense that, he would reach out to someone like him. I could definitely see that considering, like, the music and what it sounds like. It's not all, it's not all, like, a whole bunch of, like, country tracks. There's, like, maybe, like, one or two that have a very, like, country sound to them. But still, like I said, he could have went to them for, various things. It could have been, like, just little stuff. Who really knows? And then the last name that was listed was Chelsea Cowan, which I wasn't really able to find, like, anything else for her as far as, like, other bodies of work that she's, like, I guess, like, worked on, regarding, like, visuals or even just, like, a page for herself. Her name, brought up several different searches or several different, like, people within the search. The only thing I was really able to find is when I was like actually looking into like the discography for or the credits for the album, and that's when her name would also pop up and it was featured. Let's get into the actual visuals and get a hands-on approach. All right, so just like taking a look at the front cover, or more specifically the cover artwork for the 2020 experience. If you have any idea of what the first CD looks like, or disc 1 looks like, which I am going to do a future video on that. I kind of chose this one because I heard, or I have the impression that not as many people like this CD or didn't really feel like this CD lived up to the expectations of the first disc. Which I disagree with. Like I said, I like this one better, but I wouldn't say that this one is really, any lesser in quality or anything like that. If you have any idea of what the first one looks like, the background is more like white. This one is, more of like a background behind, like the optometrist. I don't know what that is like. It's basically like the tool you use, or when you go to like the optometrist or the eye doctor. You look through that so they can test your vision, through each eye, which I thought was pretty dope considering, it definitely ties into the whole theme of the album. As well as like the whole suit and tie theme, you got your boy Justin, and the tux, behind that. I'm not really sure if the fading of the color plays into the theme anyway, or if that's just something they chose because they felt like it was aesthetically pleasing. I think it's pretty dope. I think it fits into the whole vibe of the album. It definitely appears, to have been chosen with, care and just thought. The parental advisory sticker or, label is in the top, right-hand corner of the CD. I think that's probably the best place for it. It probably would have been a little too distracting if it was like, let's say, between the 0 and the smaller E at the end of experience. Which now that I'm taking a look at the actual title of the 2020 experience, that also looks like one of those graphs that if you were at the optometrist or the eye doctor, when you're trying to like read each letter, it basically mirrors that. So I mean, yeah, it's a nice little addition. That they tied in there. I think that's also pretty dope. And yeah, let's check out the back. I mean, you can't. I don't know if I'll be able to see this, but yeah. So we get the light shine right. So it says disc. It says 2 discs right there. But yeah, I was thinking that said disc 2. Definitely does it. I was just referring to the amount of CDs, like I was saying, is actually in the CD. But yeah. I just want to give you guys a look at that. Why not? All right, so when we go to the back of it, we essentially just have the back of that optometrist tool. We no longer see Justin. It's just the black background. Similar fading effect, where it's kind of like like fading or fading from like a brownish or like an orange color into the the white, but it never really gets. It doesn't really seem to be getting to that white. It just kind of like it's kind of like a manila. Or like something, or like a beige or like a sand color. Then at the bottom, over the black background, just underneath this optometrist tool, we have each one of the tracks to the second disc of this project, just listed in white, plain text. We also have the RCA logo, also in white in the left-hand corner right here, as well as more text for like label credits and legalities, things of that nature. FBI warning, telling you not to like steal it. And there's some other logos right there that I'm not super familiar with. If you have an idea of what these logos are or their significance, go ahead and comment below. I would love more information on any one of these CDs. Like I said, I'm learning more and more with each one of these videos. Then we just have the barcode in the lower right-hand corner. So if we want to go inside the CD, the actual disc, it looks like. Let's get that in focus real quick. So yeah, if we just want to, go ahead and take a look at the actual cover of the CD itself, I'll go ahead and pop that off there. So yeah, it looks more like, like an album, like a 45, or just, like a regular album you play like on a record player. In the center, similar to like an album, we have like, like that white circle where we just have the listing of the artist, as well as the title of the CD. We have the 1 of 2 on the right-hand side. If you're not facing it, if you're facing it left-hand side, obviously. But I was trying to think of like perspective. I don't know why I have the CD looking at us. Odd, I know, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, then toward the bottom it's just like, more text for like legality, label purposes, credits, things of that nature. Flip it over, it's typical back of a CD. And like I was saying with the the whole album theme, there's like grooves that you can see along the borders of the CD. There's this door right here. The CD is come off of it, but it's supposed to fit right back on here like that. So we take a look at that and go ahead and show the back off, why not? And then, yeah, it's basically just like the same CD that we just saw, essentially. This is just a second disc. So we have the 2 of 2 on the left-hand side if you're facing the CD. But yeah, it's basically, exactly, what we just saw. So I'll go ahead and move on from that. And then behind the CD, we have, like a picture of Justin. It's like, well, three pictures of Justin. I'm assuming they're photoshopped together. And then one on the left, one on the left, one on the right. The one on the left is actually the back of the booklet. So I'm assuming of course they'd probably think like, all right, maybe the fan will notice how these two fit together, or how these two separate images fit together, or maybe they'll view them as one. Considering they would appear that they're supposed to be paired together, once they pop both of the CDs off. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't think the picture was like anything crazy or anything like that. It was a nice touch and addition to the visuals. So yeah, if we want to just go ahead and get into the booklet, we already saw the cover, examine that. The booklet really consists of just a lot of like big pictures of Justin, mainly in black and white. I can't recall any color pictures. I'm sure we'll see that in just a moment if there actually are any color pictures. And then you're just going to get like, various songs in chronological order, how they play it on the CD, from the second disc, that'll be placed over the pictures of Justin. You'll get the credits for the songs down below, and get a good shot of that. And, we'll just keep, panning through each one of these pictures so you guys get a shot. It's not too, out of the ordinary. From what we saw, these pictures are very, I don't know. They're just so, this picture is meant to be, I would assume it's meant to be candid, but, dude, it just looks so, it looks so like posed or just like, I don't know, like forced or whatever. Like some of these pictures are just like, I don't know, they're just kind of funny to me. Like, I'm not trying to discredit the artist or anything like that. Like, you know, if you checked out the Tinashe video, I was kind of like oozing a little bit over her her visuals and pictures and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm not like into dudes or nothing, so maybe if I was into dudes, I'd be like, oh, Justin. But I don't know, man. Like, a lot of these pictures are just, I don't know. So they're kind of funny. Maybe it's just, you know, the era I'm from, day and age. I like actual, more, you know, candid photos. These just look too posed. They just look too posed. Like, I know it's for a CD, you know. Of course, they're going to create settings, you know, and whatnot, but I don't know. It's just a bit much for me. But yeah, you know, like I said, we're going to get each one of the tracks, you know, like kind of like per page. They're very sparing with the tracks. As far as like, you know, how many pictures they've taken and how they like, you know, space them out as they list them, which I did like this approach. You know, I'm not, when I was, you know, looking at the actual pictures and like criticizing them, I wasn't really trying to like take away from the approach. I still think all the artwork looks pretty good. It's just more of like, like this picture, for example, like, I don't know, it's just a bit much for me. But as far as like, you know, the way it looks with the songs over each one of the pictures, I think that's pretty, you know, dope, or just like cool. Like, I haven't really seen too much of that in the CDs I've been reviewing thus far. It's just such a simple like change, but you know, just that approach. Maybe it's because I haven't really reviewed like more like pop albums, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, no, that simple change is just, I don't know, it definitely like stands apart from the previous CDs I've reviewed. This is one of the rare pages where you get like a few different tracks on one picture, which I'm assuming it's probably because, like, you know, it's the end of the CD and they probably didn't want to feature, you know, like, they probably didn't want to ruin this side, seeing as like, this is the majority of Justin right here on the left, so they figured they'd just put it on this end. I don't think that looks bad at all. I think it was, you know, it's very thoughtful, the way they put it together, and you know, where they chose to put like the text as regarding like the titles and the credits for the songs. And yeah, there's you know, the last couple of songs right there, as well as you know, the credits for the entire you know, like CD, you know, for the visuals, as far as like the marketing goes, sample clearance, you know, production, composers, things, you know, of that nature. How you can contact Justin, check him out. It's all right there. You know, more logos as far as people who, you know, had a hand, or companies who had a hand in, you know, putting this project together. And then we get a nice full color shot of Justin, you know, with I would assume one of the bands, or, you know, maybe this was like, you know, maybe these were the only musicians, or maybe this was like, you know, all the musicians who worked on the CD. But still, you know, it's a great shot, you know, to you know, close out the CD on. And yeah, you know, I mean, that was Justin Timberlake's the 2020 experience, disc 2 to be more specific. You know, I'm, how do I say this? Like, I want to say I'm like a super big, you know, Justin Timberlake fan. I only say that only because I got onto the Justin Timberlake, you know, wave like kind of late. I was into like, you know, those groups when I was younger. But as far as like Justin Timberlake goes, like, yeah, when this CD came out, or when this CD came out, or maybe a little bit like after this came out, that's when I really started getting into him. I went back, I bought his other CDs, thought they were great too. As far as like his individual bodies of work go, you know, phenomenal. I recommend it definitely. But yeah, you know, I just wanted to highlight the visuals, you know, as we tend to do. See these CDs. So, you know, check us out in the next video. And all right, people, thanks for checking us out. Peace. I'm out.